Rain lashed against the window pane, mimicking the tears Simon couldn't shed. The eviction notice sat on the threadbare couch, a stark symbol of his downfall. It had been 1 year since Elena, his radiant porcelain-skinned Elena, had traded him for a man with platinum cufflinks and a penthouse view. "I deserve more," she'd said, her voice as sharp as the diamonds on her new ring. Simon deserved bitterness, maybe even rage. But all he felt was a hollow ache, a phantom limb where his heart used to be. He'd loved Elena with the kind of fierce devotion that poets write sonnets about, the kind that blinded him to her gold-digging tendencies, the kind that left him penniless. His dreams of starting a pottery studio shattered like clay underfoot. The next 6 months were a blur of ramen noodles and borrowed sofas. Each rejection from a job with his art history degree felt like a fresh betrayal, chipping away at the pride he had left. It was then, at his lowest point, when the letter arrived, a faded script on embossed paper, announcing his inheritance from a long-lost grandfather he barely knew. A ramshackle mansion in Cornwall, overlooking the windswept cliffs. It promised wealth but also solitude, a stark contrast to the warmth he so desperately craved. Cornwall was a slap of fresh air, the salty tang of the sea replacing the city's smog. The mansion, though dusty and forlorn, held a strange comfort in its creaking floorboards and secret nooks. He spent days exploring, unearthing treasures, a worn leather diary hinting at his grandfather's passion for ancient pottery, a box of clay tools still gleaming with age. Simon, his fingers itching to create, rediscovered his passion. He sculpted, pouring his loneliness, his love for Elena, his bitterness into the clay. Each vase, each figurine, became a silent scream, a testament to his broken heart. His studio, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, became his sanctuary. Weeks turned into months, and the studio filled with clay creations. One afternoon, an art dealer from a nearby gallery stumbled upon the mansion. Mesmerized by the raw, emotional power of Simon's work, he offered a proposition: an exhibition in London. London. The city that mocked and rejected him once now pulsated with a new rhythm. The gallery was packed, light glinting off glazed surfaces. Elena, her eyes wide, stood before a sculpture of a broken heart, a mirror image of the one she'd shattered. He saw the flicker of regret in her eyes, the echo of a love she'd discarded. But Simon felt nothing. The fire of revenge had been quenched by the furnace of his art. He saw not a betrayer, but a muse, the catalyst for his rebirth. His success felt hollow without Elena, a victory that tasted like ashes. He returned to Cornwall, the gallery's check untouched. Back in his studio, his fingers dipped into familiar clay, creating a woman, beautiful, strong, with eyes that reflected the wildness of the sea. It wasn't Elena, but a new vision, born from pain and resilience. One day, a knock on the door broke the silence. A woman stood there, wind-whipped hair mirroring the storm brewing outside. It was Emily, the gallery owner's daughter, who had helped organize the exhibition. She'd been drawn to his art, she confessed, to the stories it whispered. As the storm raged outside, they found solace in each other's quiet strength. She saw not the man Elena discarded, but the artist reborn from ashes. He saw not a savior, but a kindred spirit, drawn to the depths of his emotions. Their love wasn't built on grand gestures or whispered promises. It was a slow burn, a shared understanding forged in the fire of his past. Emily brought laughter back into his life, the kind that filled the cavernous rooms of the mansion with warmth. Her presence was a balm to his scars, a gentle hand stroking away the ghosts of Elena. One evening they sat on the clifftop watching the sun paint the sea in hues of gold and red. Emily, emboldened by the setting sun, took his hand. "Let go of the past," she whispered. "It's time to write a new story." And Simon, for the first time in years, allowed himself to feel. He closed his eyes, the image of Elena fading into the twilight. He opened them to Emily, her emerald eyes sparkling with love. And in that moment, he knew his revenge story was over. He wasn't the man Elena cast aside. He was Simon, the artist reborn, the lover found, the man finally, truly alive. The mansion, once a symbol of solitude, became a canvas for their love. Emily filled the echoing halls with music, their laughter echoing through the dusty corners. Simon's studio became a vibrant space, not just for creating but for sharing. Emily, with her keen eye and gentle touch, became his muse, helping him refine his art, pushing him to explore new depths. His sculptures, once raw and emotional, took on a new dimension, filled with a quiet joy, a tenderness he hadn't known he possessed. There were challenges, of course. Memories of Elena, like stubborn weeds, would occasionally sprout in the quiet moments. The whispers of doubt, the fear of being hurt again, gnawed at the edges of their happiness. But Emily, with her unwavering faith in him, helped him pull them out, one by painful one. One cold winter night, huddled by the roaring fireplace, Simon finally confessed his past, the bitterness, the loneliness, the sting of betrayal. As he spoke, his voice raw with emotion, he expected to see a flicker of doubt in Emily's eyes. Instead, he saw understanding, a deep empathy that mirrored the wounds he'd laid bare. "We all have our stories," she said, taking his hand in hers. "The important thing is that we choose to write a new chapter, together." That night, under the vast expanse of the star-studded sky, they made a promise. Not a grand, sweeping declaration, but a quiet vow to nurture their love, to build a future where shared dreams replaced past scars. The years that followed were a testament to their promise. Their love, like a slow-growing, sturdy oak, weathered storms and blossomed in sunshine. They married in the garden overlooking the sea, the salty breeze carrying their vows on its wings. Emily, radiant in a simple white dress, her eyes shining brighter than the diamonds Elena once flaunted, was a far cry from the woman who'd traded love for wealth. She was his haven, his home, his reason to believe in forever. Cornwall wasn't just a place anymore. It was their story, etched in the laughter echoing from the mansion, the brushstrokes on his canvases, the footprints left in the sand. The mansion, once a symbol of solitude, became a testament to their love, filled with the aroma of baking bread and the melody of children's laughter. For they were blessed with 2 children, a boy with his father's unruly hair and his mother's kind eyes, and a girl with her mother's grace and her father's artistic spirit. But Simon never forgot the lessons learned in the crucible of betrayal. He taught his children about forgiveness, not as a gift to the offender, but as a balm for the wounded soul. He taught them the value of hard work, of building dreams from the ground up, brick by fragile clay brick. And sometimes, on quiet evenings, when the sea whispered secrets only the wind could hear, he would gaze at Emily, her hand in his, and remember the pain that birthed his rebirth, the woman who shattered him, and the woman who held the pieces together, stronger and more beautiful than ever before. His revenge wasn't a grand display of wealth or success. It was the quiet triumph of healing, the rediscovery of love, and the creation of a life richer than any platinum cufflink could ever buy. It was a story of loss and redemption, of ashes and phoenixes, and in the end, it was a love story, the kind that echoed in the whispers of the wind, forever etched in the soul. Simon gazed at Emily, her face aglow in the warm candlelight, the years etched around her eyes, not lines of age, but chapters of their shared story. Her laughter, once a balm to his wounds, now held the melody of contentment, the sweet music of a life well lived. His hand, weathered by clay and time, found hers, their skin intertwined like the roots of their love, deep and inseparable. Their children, once playful seedlings, had blossomed into vibrant individuals. Michael, the elder, possessed his father's artistic streak, his fingers sculpting stories from wood while a mop of unruly hair mirrored Simon's youth. Lily, their daughter, had inherited Emily's grace, her laughter echoing in the halls, a constant reminder of the joy she brought into their lives. Life wasn't without its challenges. The art world, fickle and ever-changing, threw its fair share of storms their way. Critics, once enamored by the raw emotion of Simon's art, now craved something new, something that challenged the narrative of his past. Doubts, like unwelcome shadows, would creep in, whispering the ghosts of what-ifs and could-have-beens. But Emily, his unwavering anchor, was always there. With a gentle touch and a knowing smile, she'd remind him of his worth, of the beauty he poured into his creations, of the love that bloomed in their life, a testament to his resilience. Together, they faced the storms, their love a sturdy lighthouse guiding them through the choppy waters. Then came the day Michael announced his dream of studying art in Florence, the birthplace of the Renaissance. the very cradle of creativity that had inspired Simon's grandfather. A pang of fear, sharp and sudden, pierced Simon's heart. The memories of his own dreams, crushed and discarded, threatened to overwhelm him, but Emily saw not fear but opportunity. In her eyes, Michael's dream wasn't a reflection of Simon's past, but a chance to write a new chapter, a chance for their son to forge his own path. And so, with tearful hugs and whispered blessings, they sent Michael off, his heart filled with his parents' love and his hands clutching a worn leather diary, the legacy of his great-grandfather, a guiding light on his own artistic journey. Years passed, filled with visits to Florence, with shared laughter and tearful reunions. Michael blossomed under the Tuscan sun, his art taking on a life of its own, a unique blend of his father's raw emotion and his mother's quiet strength. He found love, a fiery Italian woman with eyes like the Mediterranean, and started a family of his own, adding a new chapter to the ever-growing saga of their love. Back in Cornwall, Simon and Emily continued their own journey. His art, while evolving, still held the echo of his past, a raw vulnerability that resonated with those who had walked similar paths. He mentored young artists, sharing his wisdom and scars, showing them that beauty could bloom from the ashes of pain. One crisp autumn evening, as they sat on their familiar cliff top, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Emily turned to Simon. "Remember the promise we made all those years ago?" she asked, her voice laced with the warmth of shared memories. Simon smiled, a deep furrow etched between his brows. "To write a new story together?" "Yes," she said, her hand in his. "And look at what we've created." He glanced around, taking in the sprawling mansion, now filled with the echoes of laughter and the scent of home-baked bread. He saw Michael's artwork adorning the walls, a testament to the legacy passed down. He saw Lily, now a young woman, her fingers poised on a piano, creating melodies that spoke of hope and resilience. And then he looked back at Emily, her eyes holding the reflection of the setting sun, her love a warm ember glowing in the twilight. In that moment, Simon knew they hadn't just written a new story. They had built a masterpiece, a testament to the enduring power of love, a love born from ashes, stronger than any revenge, a love that would echo through the whispers of the wind, forever etched in the soul. If you have liked this video, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. This means a lot to us.